I really like One Piece. It's the rare series that can run for over 1,000 chapters while maintaining a baseline level of quality that makes me go back to reread parts of it all the time. Of course, there are arcs that are weaker than others, and one of them has to be the low point of the series, but even the least good ones have something going for them. Except for Long Ring Long Land. The sole part of One Piece I can unequivocally call bad. I hate Long Ring Long Land, and it's the only arc that I have read exactly twice. Once on my first read, and once while researching for this miniseries. After leaving the Sky Islands of the White Sea, the Straw Hats land on an almost entirely uninhabited island called Long Ring Long Land. There, they're cornered by the Foxy Pirates, a group of swindlers who steal crew members from other pirate ships in a series of contests called the Davy Back Fight. The Straw Hats accept the challenge Foxy issues, briefly lose Chopper due to the Foxy Pirates cheating, and eventually win the contest by Luffy donning an afro and boxing gloves. Long Ring Long Land is a frustrating confluence of ridiculously high stakes for something that's supposed to be comedic, and an idiot plot that's absolutely infuriating to read. The idea that one or more of the main characters will get forcibly ejected from the story if the Straw Hats lose this game of wacky races-esque antics that are so obviously rigged to the point where characters point it out in story is patently ridiculous and not in a funny way. The Straw Hats simply submit to a contest refereed by their opponents with no outside oversight, and while they complain about the games being ludicrously unfair, they don't actually do anything about it. The reader is just stuck watching everyone putz around and not take any action more extreme than sedate acquiescence. It would be one thing if the Foxy Pirates actually tricked the Straw Hats during the games, or if they won with something more cunning than blatant and unabashed cheating and accidentally exploiting the fact that Zoro and Sanji have a rivalry that beggars common sense. But instead, the whole affair comes off as a massive waste of time that only happens because Luffy was cajoled into a farce instead of just decking Foxy in the face when the two first met, like he usually does. One of the great joys of One Piece is the catharsis of seeing Luffy beat the snot out of oppressive forces because he doesn't like them. But here, he just blithely and unquestioningly accepts the unfairness of the situation. Ultimately, the most biting criticism of Long Ring Long Land is that the anime has reused the Foxy Pirates several times for filler arcs. Long Ring Long Land is so inconsequential and disconnected that the antagonist becomes a recurring annoyance in shonen anime filler. I don't think I need to say anything more than that. While I'm being negative, I might as well get my series-wide complaints out of the way, so I can move forward without them hanging over my head. Starting with the obvious, the way Oda draws women. Honestly, this kind of speaks for itself, but if I have to add commentary, it's absolutely embarrassing that a manga that introduces the male character designs of Zoro, Crocodile, and Law in the same arcs introduced the female character designs of Nami, Vivi, and Rebecca. And it's almost insulting that Big Mom goes from looking like this as a child, to this as an adult, and this as a senior. Next we have the coin flip of queer rep in One Piece. On one side, we have the beloved character of Mr. 2 Bon Cray, the radical group of gender-indiscriminate revolutionaries led by Iva, and the respectably handled Kiku. On the other side, we have the repeated and cringeworthy joke of AMAB people not properly passing as femme. Over and over and over again. It just keeps happening, and it's never funny, and it's always mean-spirited, and it never adds to the story. Finally, while the art of One Piece is objectively very impressive, the actual use of drawing to convey story is overall subpar at best. The panels are often cluttered, and the layout usually seems hasty or thoughtless, making it very easy to miss important or exciting story beats, particularly during action scenes. I often feel my eyes glaze over while reading chapters, and have to go back to make sure I didn't accidentally miss something vital. I reread new chapters of some currently releasing manga to really appreciate the artistry, and because the construction of the chapter is fundamentally appealing to look at. I reread new chapters of One Piece because it takes me at least 2 passes to actually absorb all the information that should be made apparent by proper use of the medium. I almost stopped reading One Piece after slogging through Skypiea, loathing Long Ring Long Land, and dealing with the detriments that pervade the entire manga. But I didn't. And I am so happy that I persevered. Because while this may be the low point of the series, next time I'll talk about Water 7, the peak of One Piece.